All right, we are on the record in 2019 CR 12495 State versus Tamar McIntyre. Could I have parties announced for the record, please?
John Hunter, Thomas Lane, for Mr. McIntyre, Your Honor.
All right, it's the court's understanding from the deputy that a verdict has been reached in this case. This is what I'm going to tell.
Tension is at its absolute peak as a capital murder case edges closer to a verdict. The atmosphere is tense, and the judge issues a warning about outbursts, not just for courtroom etiquette, but as a form of damage control. Emotions are on the verge of boiling over. Here's the hook. Would you stay calm if someone you loved was on trial for murder? Let us know in the comments.
To be any outbursts. If there's an outburst, what's going to end up happening is a deputy is going to tap you on the shoulder. There's no need to get into a conversation with the deputy. That tap on the shoulder is meaning that you are to leave this courtroom, and you will only be allowed back in this courtroom if you're going to be a witness. Does everyone understand? Is there anyone who cannot do that? So both parties, for the state and the defense, if you need to talk to members who are currently in court that are either with the state or defense, you may do so now. Otherwise, I'm going to bring the jury in.
Everyone knows to be on their best behavior, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring the jurors in.
All right, for the jury.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's my understanding that you've reached a verdict in this case. Is that correct? And is that verdict unanimous? All right, if you will give the verdict form to Deputy Laura, please. All right, if the defendant could please stand.
And just like that, shockwaves hit. The defendant is found not guilty of capital murder, but relief is short-lived. The jury returns a verdict of guilty for murder instead. This was an exoneration. It was a downgrade. In Texas, juries can convict on lesser-included offenses, meaning even if they reject capital murder, they can still find someone guilty of a lesser charge like murder.
Now. Yes.
Sometimes, as you can tell, people are invested, correct? So it says the jury find the defendant, Tamar McIntyre, not guilty of the offense of capital murder as charged in the indictment. The jury find the defendant, Tamar McIntyre, guilty of the lesser included offense of murder. Does anyone wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and do you want them polled as to both counts?
As to the count of conviction.
All right, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you if, in count 2, the guilty verdict for murder, if that is your verdict, I'm going to need you to respond yes. Does everyone understand? So we'll start on this end and work our way down. Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yeah.
Is this your verdict?
Yeah.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Oh, yes. All right. Back row. Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
12 jurors, 12 guilty votes. This wasn't a close call. It was unanimous. With the verdict in, we now move into phase 2, sentencing. And that's when emotions start to overflow. Stay locked in. What comes next will show just how deeply this verdict impacts both sides of the courtroom.
Is I'm going to allow you all to have your recess for lunch, and then we'll begin the second phase of the trial. All right, everyone, please rise for the jurors. So what we will do is I think if we all come back at 2 p.m., that should give everybody a chance to have whatever witnesses they need to have present. So we'll come back at 2 p.m. for the second phase of the trial. All right, thank you. Oh, if you'll state your name for the record and spell your last name, please.
Kayla Beverly. My last name is Beverly.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Miss Beverly. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm well, thank you. How old are you?
27.
And do you know Tamar McIntyre?
Yes, sir.
How do you know him?
That's my brother.
Is he your older brother, younger brother?
Younger.
How many years separate you two?
A year and a half to 2 years. It depends on when our birthday falls.
Okay. I want to ask you a little bit about your childhood and Tamar's. Could you tell us a little bit about your early childhood?
We were
Comes emotional weight. Tamar's sister takes a stand. not just as a witness, but as a survivor. She speaks of foster care, CPS involvement, and childhood trauma. This isn't just testimony. It's a collision of broken past and courtroom consequences. Here's the hook. Does trauma help us understand violence, or does it excuse it? Sound off below.
And bounced around a lot.
How old were you when you were taken from your mother?
I believe I was 5.
5. So Tamar would have been how old?
Well, I believe that Tamar was 5 and I was about 7.
Okay, gotcha. Before that, did both your parents live in the house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did that stop at some point? You said just you were taken from your mom.
Yes, my dad was incarcerated for domestic violence against my mom.
Okay. Do you know anything about that incident? Do you remember it?
I remember seeing my mom after, like, injured.
Tell us about that.
I just remember seeing our mom afterwards. She was injured really bad after she was hospitalized. Just stuff like that.
Was Tamar around for that?
Yes, sir.
And you said your father was incarcerated. Do you know if he went to prison for it?
Yes.
Okay. And so after he went to prison, did you all stay with your mother for some period of time, or did CPS get involved immediately?
For some time, maybe a couple of years, 1 or 2 years or something like that.
Just living with your mama?
Yes, sir.
What was that like?
We moved around a lot, kind of. I think she was trying to find stability, but didn't have a lot of help.
Okay. So you mentioned that eventually Child Protective Services got involved.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us more about that? What happened there?
One day they came and they took us from our mom, and we fought with them and cried. And then they put us in an orphanage.
Okay. And you said that this was a couple years after your dad was locked up. If you need a moment, that's okay.
Thank you.
So, how old do you think you were when you went to the orphanage?
I think Tamar was 5 and I was about 7. That's when they took us from our mom.
When they took you from your mom? Okay. And was that orphanage in Texas, or was that someplace else?
It was in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Do you remember the name of the orphanage?
Child Haven.
Child Haven?
Yes, sir.
And describe to the jury what Child Haven was like.
It was like it was buildings, like different buildings in a property that was gated, and like the different buildings hold different kids of different ages. So me and Tamar were separated at that place for some time, and we were allowed to get visitation with each other, but we couldn't leave there. We went to school there, we ate there, bathed there, and sleep there. And sometimes we get visits. I think we got a visit one time.
Kind of sounds like a jail. Is that fair, or is it not like that at all?
Yes, it was. It's like
It bare, it felt like jail, torn from her brother, institutionalized as a child. Her words are more than backstory. They're the defense's emotional armor. But the question lingers. Do early life experiences truly shape our fate in court, or are they just narrative tools? Let's debate.
understand time, so it felt like a year, but it might have been like 6 months or something like that, close to a year.
You're not really sure, but
No, I'm not
that's what
sure.
it felt like, I guess.
Yeah, it felt like a year.
What happened to get you out of the orphanage?
They placed us in a foster home. They found a foster home for us
Where was that?
in Las Vegas, Nevada, in a neighborhood, low income neighborhood.
And you and Tamar were placed together in the same home?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like living in the foster home?
We weren't happy, so it was sad. We just wanted to go home.
Did you have any contact with your parents?
No,
Did you know what had happened to your parents?
no. It was times we didn't even know if our mom was still living.
How long were you living with that foster? Was it a family, or was it a single person? Do you know?
It was I believe she was married, and eventually her husband passed away. It was a married woman.
And what was daily life like with her?
If it was during the year, then we go to school and we come back after school. If no extracurricular activities, and if it wasn't during the year, then we have to be in her home at all times, not allowed to ever leave.
You couldn't leave her property?
No,
Tamor too, or just you?
neither one of us, Tamar either.
What happened if you tried to argue with her about that?
She didn't allow it, and we were young, so we didn't, we just
Do you feel like you were provided for there?
provided for because we ate every day and had a place to stay. So yeah,
What about your emotional needs?
no, not at all.
How long were you with this woman and her husband before he died?
I believe that we were with her for up to 2 years at the most at one point, and then we got transferred somewhere else and sent back to her again. So over the years, we were with her 2 times at the length of time that we were in foster care.
So you were transferred from her care to another foster home, or transferred back to the orphanage, or how'd that happen?
We were transferred to our grandfather family.
Okay, tell me about your grandfather.
He's a retired veteran. I don't know his age, but he took good care of us, and he's a good man.
What's his name?
Russell Hardy
And where does he live?
in Waco, Texas.
Okay, and that's where you all went to stay after you left Las Vegas?
Yes, sir.
And Tamor came with you, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about what life was like living in Waco.
We were allowed to be kids, and we were happy for the time span that we were out there. We were happier than we ever been as a kid in foster care or any of that stuff.
How did Tamor take it living with your grandfather?
He took it better. He started to get better grades and things like that. My grandpa was more involved in his school with his teachers and stuff like that. So eventually he did start to be better, do better and be happier, like a happier kid, and more do extracurricular activities and just be a kid.
And about how long did this period of time last where you lived in Waco?
Maybe a year.
What happened after that?
They took us from our grandfather's care and sent us back to Las Vegas to Child Haven.
When you say they, who was they?
CPS.
Child Protective Services?
Yes.
So you went back to Child Haven?
Yes.
Do you know why they sent you back to Child Haven from your grandpa's house?
They never really explained it to us as kids. They just said that we would be coming back, so that it was just temporary.
Did you come back?
No.
When you got to Child Haven, the second time, how long were you there for?
Just one day.
Okay, it was just one day. What happened after that?
They sent us to the same foster home that we lived in before.
The woman that you mentioned?
Yes.
Okay. What was it like when you went back to live with her?
It was the same, but I feel like this time we were older and we knew it was wrong. Like
What was
we learned,
wrong?
like how she would treat us.
Help me understand that more when you say how she would treat you.
Maybe the